Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back. My name is Real Leel. As you know, I'm a co-host of In the Huddle Sports Radio, and I'm joined by one of our correspondents, Coach Melo. And what we're gonna do today, man, we're gonna do a short vlog for the In the Huddle Sports Show, giving y'all our predictions, our Super Bowl predictions, and our biggest questions entering this season. Now, Kenny C got a video that will be dropping later. He's gonna have a vlog himself and a few other guys. So we got content coming from all cylinders. We hitting y'all with the left, we hitting y'all with the right. We hitting y'all with the uppercut, we hitting y'all tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. Football is back. Matter of fact, I believe, well, it's not 12 o'clock yet, so it's not today. It will be tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. When this video come out, it will be the day of. Sports is back. The Kansas City Chiefs will be taking on the Houston Texans, and then we have a great week 1 Sunday, a bunch of crazy games. I am hyped. Like I said on the last show, my services is off. I am not available. My phone is off. I will be watching football all day. Coach Melo, talk to me, man. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling real good, man. Just want to say happy Wednesday. Thank you for having me on again on the Real Leel show and also Inside the Huddle. Just happy that football is back, man. Football is back. The last time I watched a football game was against, the Kansas City Chiefs defeating the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl. But I'm just pretty stoked to see, what the season has to hold. I'm looking forward to see this matchup tomorrow between the Houston Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm just happy football is back. Like Real Lil said, come Sundays, my phone is on Do Not Disturb. Don't bother me. What other emergency that you have, call 911.
Exactly. There we go. Right there. Perfectly said, Cam. And we might as well jump right into it with our biggest questions before we make these predictions. And the first question that comes to my mind, ladies and gentlemen, Lil Shadamas, the first question that comes to my mind, how about them Cowboys or Cowgirls? That's the biggest thing that comes to my mind. Or they're going to be the Cowboys, or the Cowboys going to be the Cowboys, or the Cowgirls. And the reason why I say that is because can the Cowboys be the team that's being hyped up right now to win the NFC East? They have 3 1,000-yard wide receivers in CeeDee Lamb, Mike Gallup, and Amari Cooper. But obviously the biggest question remains Dak Prescott. Are we going to hear them in the media for all the wrong reasons with Dak Prescott's contract and Jerry Jones politics? Or are we going to see that team that everybody's hyping up, all right, that can't be stopped? You can't stop the offense. You can't stop Ezekiel Elliott. I think they should win the football more, honestly. I think that's their keys to victory. That's what made the Dallas Cowboys the most feared, was when Zeke was running the daggone football. Can this team be the Cowboys and not the Cowgirls and win the NFC East? Cam, your thoughts?
Man, to be honest with you, that's a weak division as it is. So honestly, at this point, I believe that it's definitely up for grabs. Honestly, this year, I believe that they're going to be the Cowgirls this year. The reason why I say that, at the end of the day, it all depends on Dak Prescott. If he cannot perform at the high level or put his team in a situation to win football games, meanable football games at that, then hey, I just believe that the Cowgirls going to be the Cowgirls, man, straight up.
Oh man, you know what? I was tempted in agreeing with you, the days leading up to the show, but the more I thought about it, the more I think they're going to be the Cowboys, and this is why. Listen, Philly scares me. The Philadelphia Eagles scare me because we all know what happened last year with the injuries. I mean, you talk about a pandemic that we're in right now. The pandemic started in Philly when these wide receivers was dropping like flies, and Carson Wentz took a bunch of nobodies and brought them to the playoffs. Now, yes, they have D-Jax back. I think the D-Jax and Carson Wentz connection is going to be great. I would advise probably taking D-Jax in fantasy simply because we don't know how healthy Jalen Reagor is. And that's the point. My thing is, are they going to be able to stay healthy? Because I'm hearing a lot of stuff already that I'm not liking. We had the offensive linemen starting to go down in practices, and Jalen Reagor is not even 100%. Also, Jeffrey is as well. So I'm starting to see what I saw last year, and I'm not liking it. So it scared me to say the Cowboys is going to be the Cowboys, and I think they're going to win the NFC East, and they're going to have a 10-6 record. I just think this is a prove-it year for Dak Prescott. He wants to be paid the big bucks. He's going to have to try to at least show why he deserves that contract. And if he doesn't live up to it, well, guess what? Andy Dalton will take over from there. But you know what? I'm going to put faith in that team to get it done enough because they have the weapons. They have Ezekiel Elliott, and they have an upgrade at coaching with Mike McCarthy, who's, anything is better than Clapboy himself, Jason Garrett.
Yes, sir.
Now take it away.
So my question is, ladies and gentlemen, do you believe that the Kansas City Chiefs can repeat as back-to-back Super Bowl champions? And this is my take. I believe that they can. Honestly, 90% of the roster are back, so I do believe that they're going to be playoff contenders. I don't see no team in the AFC that could give them a run for their money besides the Baltimore Ravens. And honestly, at this point, the Chiefs and Mahomes and company are just unstoppable. So I believe that the Chiefs will repeat as 2021 Super Bowl champions.
Ah, wow. So you already went with the prediction right there, but it's all good because look, with the Kansas City Chiefs, can they repeat as champions? I think they can, but will it happen? That has yet to be answered simply because, a lot of people were saying, this is the new dynasty, and it's understandable. They would turn a lot of starters. On the offensive line, they would turn a lot of starters. Wide receivers, Tyreek Hill, they would turn a lot of starters. Pat Mahomes is the ultimate X factor. He is back. And they're going to, they have that momentum winning that Super Bowl. Obviously, we were in a pandemic. So, Cam, a lot of times when teams win a Super Bowl, what they like to do, go to Disney World, go to parties, and go on vacations. They couldn't do none of that because this was a pandemic. So they still focused, which is different from other teams in the past. So they have a chance. But the biggest question is, are they good enough? Because every team is going to mark the Chiefs on their calendar. The Ravens are good. There's a lot of teams in the AFC that I think is dark horses, and we're going to get to that in a few minutes. But that's a legitimate question, and we have yet to see. And let's find out if I think that's going to happen at the end of this program when I make my Super Bowl prediction. But my next question that I have is, D-Hop into the playoffs? D-Hop into the playoffs. The addition of DeAndre Hopkins, D-Hop, will that be enough to get Kyler Murray and them boys and the Cardinals to the playoffs? And I'm going to start off with my thoughts on that. Look, I think this is going to be a great connection, right? But we got to give it time. I don't know if the chemistry is going to come off right off the bat with D-Hop and Kyler Murray. Listen, I love Kyler Murray. He's one of my favorite players to watch in the NFL. I mean, he knows a good football. He's very accurate, and he went under the radar a little bit. I love what I saw from Kyler Murray. I think he will be better. But this team went 5-11 last year. They lost a lot of close games. They could make some noise this year. Let's remember, they almost beat the 49ers twice. So I do think that they will win a couple more games, but I don't think D-Hop will lead them to the playoffs. I think that's going to be a great connection towards the second part of the year once they get that chemistry, but I don't think they have enough. I think the Cardinals will go 8-8 and fall short of winning the NFC West.
8-8. Dang.
I think they're going to win some games that they're not supposed to win, and I think they may lose some games they're not supposed to lose. That's how I see it. I think, they went 5-11 last year. I think they 3 wins better this year. And it's a step. I think a lot of people is peaking on the Cardinals too early. I think this is a little bit too early.
Well, to pretty much piggyback what you're trying to say, I do believe with the addition of DeAndre Hopkins, it's going to give a boost, for the Cardinal offense to make it to the playoff. Just to make it to the playoff. I didn't say Super Bowl now, but just to at least make it as the wild card. Reason for that, DeAndre Hopkins, during his time in Houston, he's been through many quarterbacks. And as you could tell, he always managed to have a 1,000-yard season. You get what I mean? So I believe that, him and Murray, they're going to connect really well, no matter what. You get what I mean? But as for like record-wise, I could see them finishing 9-7 at best. Their worst, 7-9. That's what I give. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to know, out of the AFC, which team will come out as the dark horse? In other words, which team will be the underdog to watch out for this season? And I'm going to have to go with the Tennessee Titans, to be honest with you. Reason why I say that, when Mike Vrabel started Ryan Tannehill mid-season last year, I was like, why? Like, and what I realized is like the Tennessee Titans have a system that pretty much they put everyone in a good position to excel. Pretty much, at the end of the day, like Ryan Tannehill didn't really have to do too much, like for that Tennessee offense. All you have to do just maintain the ball, control the ball. You get what I mean? Control the clock. And I like what they did last year. They gave like the New England Patriots a run for their money and the Baltimore Ravens a run for their money. So at the end of the day, I really love their their game plan, their strategies, and nothing too. They returned most of their starters, and they added some key guys from the draft and from free agency. So I do believe that the Tennessee Titans will be a team to watch out for this season, ladies and gentlemen.
I would say this. I like the Titans. I think the Titans will make the playoffs this year. I'm not as high on them as you all can, but I do think they're good enough to make the playoffs this year with a 9-7 record, just barely getting one of those last seeds, if not the last seeds. Listen, I think that, Ryan Tannehill, he was very good at the play action. He's a very decent play action quarterback, and they have Derrick Henry. Yeah. I just don't think that, putting it all in Derrick Henry worries me just a bit, because running backs can go out quickly. They tires run out quickly. We see it time and time again with running backs, especially with a guy like Derrick Henry that's ground and pound. All that pound and wear and tear that's going to be on his body. It scares me a little bit. But I expect a guy like Corey Davis, who's the number 2 wide receiver, to have a big game, because now teams know A.J. Brown is a problem. So they're going to try to eliminate him out the equation, and that's going to cause for Corey Davis, who's the clear number 2 wide receiver, to get a lot of reps. So watch out for that connection as well, and watch out for him being a little breakout player right there. So I think they're going to make the playoffs, but staying in the same division in the AFC South, right? I'm actually going to take the Indianapolis Colts to be the dark horse and actually win that division. And this is why. I like the Indianapolis Colts. I really do. Listen, we know Phillip Rivers looked the shell of himself last year. He was throwing a lot of interceptions. He was a turnover machine. But he comes to a great situation in the Colts. Great offensive line. That's going to keep him upright. One thing about quarterbacks that are not mobile, they do not like to be hit. He will not have to worry about taking unnecessary hits. I'm pretty sure Andrew Luck would have still been playing if he had the offensive line the Colts had that they have now, okay? He would still be playing right now. Andrew Luck is sitting on the couch like, damn it, you couldn't beat us good when I was on there. But look, Phillip Rivers going to have a great offensive line. I love the running back duo. I love the pickup of Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin. I thought he was one of them, another ground and pound guy, another guy that's hard to tackle, another guy that has speed to go along with Marlon, a.k.a. Return of the Mac. You got that running back duo. You also got a great wide receiving duo in Pittman Jr. out of USC and T.Y. Hilton on the other side. I think T.Y. Hilton and Phillip Rivers is like a match made on Tinder right there. I think that's going to be an excellent duo right there. And I like the Indianapolis Colts. I think Rivers is going to have a great year. I think he's going to throw for 4,000 plus yards. And I have the Colts making some noise and getting far in the playoffs.
Wow. So, just to go back to what you're saying. So, even with Phillip Rivers' age, you get what I mean? I understand age is nothing but a number, but look at his age.
Axel Kelly.
Right. But do you feel like that 1 year that Phillip Rivers wants to stay in Indianapolis, can he produce like he did when he was with the Chargers?
Yeah, I think he can. I think he still has a strong arm. The players loved him. T.Y. Hilton, he loves what he sees. And I think last year he tried to force a lot of plays. The offensive line wasn't spectacular, so it forced him into throwing the ball, and try to make plays. And, there was an added pressure because let us remember, Phillip Rivers was a free agent coming on that year. So I think that got to his head. I think he wanted to make enough plays because he knew in the back of his mind this could have been his last year with the Chargers. And I think that played a part in his head trying to do too much and overlooking the season that it was now. Now that's out the room. You got 1 or 2 years left, max. And I think he's in a new system, a new place. It's like going to a new school. You got a fresh start. You got, playmakers around you. And I think that's good enough for him to, at least be productive this season.
Okay, fair enough. And my next question I have is, do you feel that Bill Belichick and Cam Newton will get along this season? Yes or no?
Yeah, that's a good question right there. Listen, I know we've been hearing a lot about Bill Belichick and Cam Newton. They seem to be, they love each other now. All you hear was great things. I think it's a publicity stunt. To be honest with you, they just lost Tom Brady. Tom Brady's getting all the love with the social media now. All the hype is on the Buccaneers. So Belichick is probably feeling probably a little bit salty and want to gas Cam Newton up a little bit just for publicity. But I do know Cam Newton is a hard worker. We see that. But Tom Brady is a hard worker too. Don't get me wrong. Tom Brady was the first and the last to leave, as well as Cam Newton is. So for all that love coming out now, I kind of question it a little bit and question what the intentions are. But with that being said, there's still big questions that I have with Cam Newton. I know the talent is there, but is the talent still there after all them injuries and surgeries? Does can his arm still throw? Can he still throw the football with his arm? Can he still make as much plays as he did in the past with his legs? And honestly, I don't know, because I do not like the wide receivers that he has to his disposal. I mean, you take away Julian Edelman, you just cut Mohamed Sanu. Now you're going to put the pressure on Edelman. Let's say you double team him. That leaves sophomore N'Keal Harry to do all the work. And I think that's going to be a great connection, Cam Newton and N'Keal Harry, because Cam Newton loves his wide receivers. But that's too much pressure on him. Who's the third guy? Jacoby Myers? Who's the third guy? You have no tight end. You have no tight end. No legit tight end. You lost a lot of players due to opt-outs. I actually have the Patriots going 9-7, yes, but missing the playoffs.
Wow.
And not winning the division.
Damn, man. You know what?
I have the Bills. Bills Mafia. Stand up.
I don't know about Bills Mafia now, but I'm a co-sign with the part that I do feel like the Patriots will not make the playoff this year. Solely because, just like you said, Lil, a lot of guys opt out this year. You get what I mean? I understand, because of health reasons, which is okay. But I felt like, this season, Belichick's won't play with nothing but rookies. You know what I mean? Rookies and second and third year guys. So I just felt like they won't beat the same Patriots like we know for the past decade, where they won games, they won the division, they always clinch a bye, things like that. But right now, like I said, it's a new season. It's a new transition. You know what I mean? Brady's not there no more. A lot of guys are missing, so I do believe that it's just going to be a real building stage for the Patriots. So, as for Cam Newton's durability, I still question that, because during his the past few seasons when he was in Carolina, he barely could stay healthy to save his life. So I just hope that Belichick could create an offense that could protect Newton and also help the Patriots win games too. Score some points. But I don't know. Just like you said, I feel like this is a publicity stunt. I just think Cam Newton just doing all that just to be like, yeah, man, I'm happy. But who knows? Who knows what's going on behind closed doors? You get what I mean? So
it's like relationship, situations where you meet somebody new and you rag about how great this person is just to get back at your ex. I think that's exactly what this is. And look, like I said, Bills Mafia, stand up. I like that defense. I think that's a top 5 defense. I took that defense in fantasy, and I think guys like Tre'Davious White, top 3 cornerback in the NFL now. Ed Oliver, the pass rush show. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Cam Newton when they play twice a year. And I also think Josh Allen, though he's not great, though he's not accurate, he is athletic. He will make enough plays with the weapons around him, getting Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, and John Brown to get them over the hump with a 11-5 record and winning the division. 10-6 record rather. I'll probably go 10-6. Buffalo.
But and how I said also too, give credit to Sean McDermott, man. Like, he really transformed that Bills team from the grounds up. And I've seen the progress. With them. And throughout his 3 years, about to be 4th year in Buffalo, he always made the playoffs. Two out of the 3 seasons that he's been in Buffalo, he always made the playoffs. So I know for a fact he's a great coach, and he could always put his guys in some good situations. So just like you said, even though it's gonna hurt my soul, but Bills Mafia, stand up, baby, stand up,
yes,
stand
sir.
up.
I got another question right here, and these are one of my final questions. I actually have a question for you in a second after this one, But my next question that I propose to everybody is the return of Big Ben. The return of Big Ben. Let us not forget, Big Ben is still a guy who is amongst, top 10 elite quarterbacks in the NFL. He throws for 4,000 yards or 5,000 yards sometimes a year. Last year we all know about the injury, and this is his first time back from the injury. How will he look? The weapons around him. I like Eric Ebron. I think that's going to be the next great quarterback tight end connection right there. I'm hearing a lot of good things about him in camp. The coaching staff loves this guy. They're going to put him in a lot of places, a lot of sets on the football field. I took him in fantasy as my tight end because he's going to be big. Because, yes, I do believe in Juju. I think he's going to take a step up this year, but he's still young. Dante Johnson's still young. He still got young wide receivers at that. So that's going to make that tight end even more important. And I think Big Ben is going to throw for 4,000 yards, 4,500 plus yards this year. And I actually think the Steelers will make the playoffs. They won't win the division, but they will make the playoffs.
Ooh, that's a tough statement right there, bro. To be honest with you,
I did because they went 8-8 without 8-8 with a third string quarterback. Had one of the best defenses last year. Led the league in sacks, and I think they're going to have a top 3 defense this year. So you all know a defensive game travels, a defensive game, and they have James Conner. They're going to put the load on him. I don't know if he can take the load. But if James Conner could do a lot, you have him win a game and a good defense, and you have an experienced quarterback. I think that's enough to get you to the playoffs.
We'll see. I mean, with that division, AFC North, you have the Bengals, you have the Browns, you have the Ravens, you have the Steelers, of course. I mean, of course, the favorites, the favorites going to be the Ravens, of course, because of, Lamar Jackson and company. But watch out for the Cincinnati Bengals. I do believe that Joe Burrow can make things happen in Cincy in his first year. So don't be surprised if you see the Steelers finish third place in their division this season.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to give our Super Bowl predictions. Listen, Cam, I'm ready. It's about that time. I'm solid with the predictions normally, but I think I'm gonna get it this year. So you start it off with your two teams. Who you got coming out, the AFC, the NFC, and who you got winning it.
So you're going to hate me for this. I'm going to be biased. I have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Wow. And coming out victorious, I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. 26 to 23.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting right there. That's interesting. I'm gonna go with, listen, there's a whole lot of questions about this guy and his playoff woes. He's great in the regular season, but in the playoffs he tends to get bumped in the first round and not show up. I have faith in this brother. I'm gonna put my faith in this brother. Lamar Jackson will take the Ravens out of the AFC and bring them to the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. And the reason why I think so, before I get to my NFC team, is because, look, every year this brother improves. His track record shows that in college in Louisville. The year he won his Heisman wasn't his best year. It was his year after. Same thing in the NFL. He played half of the season before this one. He struggled a little bit. He looked okay. There was flashes, but he still had to develop. Last year, he looked much better. And this year, I think he hears the critics. Even though he won the MVP, he still knows they're critics. All right, not bad for a running back. He knows that. And he's going to develop as a passer. He's going to continue to develop as a passer. I see that team going 14-2 in the regular season, getting home court advantage once again. Kansas City having to go on the road, them winning the AFC championships at home. They know that, look, we are not a great team coming from behind. So what they're going to do is they're going to try to get ahead. And that's exactly what they're going to do. I like the addition of J.K. Dobbins in the running game. I think Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins is going to be a top 3, top 5 running back duo. The running game is going to be awesome. It was already great last year. It's going to be awesome this year. I still like the defense with the subtraction of Earl Thomas,
right?
Of Earl Thomas and Campbell. But I still like that defense. It's still great. And I still like Lamar Jackson. And he still have his weapons in Hollywood Brown in the tight end set. So I think they're going to come out the AFC and make it to the Super Bowl. And on the other side, in the NFC, I think, listen, I'm going to believe the hype. I know Public Enemy is gonna hate me for this because they came out with a song called "Don't Believe the Hype." But you know what, Public Enemy, Flavor Flav, Chuck D, you know, I'm gonna go against the grain here. I'm believing the hype. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will come out of the NFC. They will represent. They will be the first team to play the Super Bowl in their own backyard. It hasn't been done before. The closest that it came to was a couple years ago when the Vikings almost did it with Case Keenum, but they lost in the NFC Championship game. Ladies and gentlemen, 2020 was a year of history. For all the wrong reasons at that. Don't get me started. For all the wrong reasons. 2020 was history. But I think it will be even more history in football when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers not only play in the Super Bowl in their backyard, but win it as well. I had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning it. Ignore the Tom Brady poster. Don't think I'm coming from a biased perspective. Simply because pick your poison. Who are you stopping? First of all, last year, the biggest knock on Brady and the biggest knock on the Patriots wide receivers, if you did your research, was they were dead last in Pro Football Focus and creating separation. You don't got to worry about that with Mike Evans. He's the master on one-on-one. You don't got to worry about that with Chris Godwin. One-on-one, you can't stop him. And then one-on-one, you can't stop Gronk and O.J. Howard on the other side either. So it's like you try to double team one, fine. The other ones is going to eat you alive for dinner. Mike Evans might not even play this Sunday against the Saints. He's questionable. I'm not even worried. You still got Chris Godwin, Gronkowski, and O.J. Howard, and Scotty Miller as a number 3, and Leonard Fournette. So it's like, we all know injuries is a part of the game. I'm not saying there's going to be injuries, knock on wood here, but even if there was an injury, knock on wood, they still have enough depth at the wide receiver position, at the running back position with LaShawn McCoy, Ronald Jones. And don't get me started, I haven't even touched the defense, which is being so overlooked and underrated because that defense was one of the top 3 defenses the last 6 games of the regular season last year. Mind you, with a turnover machine at quarterback that put that defense in a lot of those positions that they were in last year. Tom Brady is only going to give you 8 interceptions at most. That's going to make the defense look even great. Another hot take within this take, I had Devin White winning Defensive Player of the Year. I like him. I like the way how he plays. You also got Shaquille Barrett and Levante David on the other side. They're going to play in a lot of primetime games, so that's going to help Devin White as well, being on TV. And look, I'm believing the hype. Tom Brady's going to win 7, and guess what? He's going to be amongst immortal men. All right? He's going to be in a different stratosphere on his own. Tom Brady.
Man, I'm not going to lie. You really hit some key points on there, bro. And I'm just going to add on to it. Got to give credit to Todd Bowles, man. Todd Bowles, Bruce Arians, these guys have done
Brian
a wonderful
Leftwich.
job. Yeah, Brian Leftwich, these guys done a wonderful job upgrading the offense. So at this point, it's they have no excuses to excel. You get what I mean? So, we'll see what happens. Tomorrow night starts a brand new season, ladies and gentlemen. I said for the next 17 weeks, expect the unexpected. You get what I mean? So, hey.
In this year too, definitely expect the unexpected. I mean, I think we all know that by now. We should.
Oh,
at
yeah.
least.
So,
oh man.
I mean, hey man. With that being said, to everybody, to all the men out there, football is back, and it's our day. Like I said, put our phone on do not disturb. Whatever emergency that anybody has, make sure they just call 911.
Exactly. Call 911. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up a great episode of In the Huddle. This will be going out, since this is the football show. This will be going out on all the In the Huddle platforms. And ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your football. Don't let your wife or your kids distract you. Let them know. Listen, don't bother me, okay? Leave me alone. It's Sunday. I'm watching my football. And if they break up with you, come back to me. We'll figure it out from there. It's your boy, Real Leel. It is what it is. And we out.
What's going on, guys? Kenny C here, co-host of In the Huddle. Unfortunately, I could not join the gentleman for the live version of this video. So I will be giving my take on one of the segments that they covered, which is giving our top 2 Super Bowl contenders from each conference going into this season, from the NFC and the AFC, as well as a dark horse. I'll start with the AFC here. My number 1 team is none other than the Kansas City Chiefs. I know it's the generic answer, but how could you not go with these guys? Other than Tardif, they pretty much lost nothing, and Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz, two of the best tackles in the league, one of the best tackle duos in the league, should pick up the slack fine. You look at what they regained. Chris Jones, top 3 interior pass rusher in this league. They were able to ink him. Patty Mahomes, obviously we all know about that $500 million deal. That man broke the bank. As well as Travis Kelce, arguably the best tight end in the league. You can interchange him and Kittle at the number 1 spot. So that's huge that they were able to regain him. Obviously they have the cheetah Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins still. With the pick